As we look to 2024, many of us are thinking about what to bring with us and what to leave behind. As 2022 Aussie PT of the Year and 2023 Queensland Exercise Instructor of the Year, Loz Antonenko is a healthy habit coach and mojo mechanic. I'm curious to know more about that. She's here to help us get started on a healthier journey. And Loz, let's start with handbrake habits. What are they and why is it important to understand them?
What a great question, Mike. And I always find that when people are in a state of crisis, they reach for these overarching silver bullet types of solutions, but fundamentally overlook the simplicity of the things they're doing every day, which is eating, breathing, sleep, movement, and hydration. And I call these handbrake habits. So there's 5 of them. And I'll give you an analogy. So if we think about a car, when we want to stop, we put the handbrake on. And if we try and drive the car with the handbrake on, well, it doesn't go very far, very fast. It is going to wear out very quickly. Plus, it kind of beeps and flashes at you, but you can totally ignore that. But when, right?
Yeah.
But when we release the handbrake, we get momentum and we feel like we can go anywhere and do anything, and it's immediate. And humans actually aren't that dissimilar to cars, where we're moving but barely, and we're surviving and not thriving. So I use this analogy of cars to sort of explain this handbrake habit thing.
Absolutely. And as you're discussing this, I'm picturing moments in my life where I've actually it's felt like I've had the handbrake on. So I empathize with this one. Can you give us some example of simple changes that we can make to significantly improve daily life and, of course, well-being, maybe for the beginners out there looking ahead?
Yeah, 100%. So when it comes to changing your life, we want to simplify to amplify, Mike. And I find that this is where people get it wrong. So you'll find that with the handbrake habits concept, that all of those habits are interlinked. As an example, if we start to draw a little bit more mindful awareness to our eating, and we start to look at not being perfect, just making some simple changes, what you'll find is that you all of a sudden get all of this energy to probably do more physical activity. And it's a strange thing, but you'll want to expend more energy. So your movement incidentally improves. And then as a consequence, you'll find that when you're exercising more or moving, that you'll be drinking more water, probably less alcohol, less caffeine, and all of a sudden, miraculously, your sleep gets better, right? So you can see this interrelationship. So it's not that hard, but I think it's just getting people out of that mindset shift that it has to be really complicated, especially at this time of the year.
Oh, but Loz, I need apps and I need sleeping masks and I need to listen to whale sounds and things like that in order to get anything done, don't I? But let's talk about mindset briefly and how the effective mindset can help us break free from these handbrake habits. What mental aspects should newcomers, I guess, consider when it comes to changing habits? I'm picking up what you're putting down, but I probably need to action it.
Yeah, and that's a fantastic question, because I think where people get stuck is they should all over themselves, I say, and they think about, I should do this and I should do that. But if we can start to remain really flexible in our thinking, that's going to allow us to, I guess, work through some of those lifestyle stresses that are inherently going to be thrown at us. If we have this idea that life's going to be easy, then you're setting yourself up for failure. I think habit stacking is a really great tool that people can use. If you want to start making changes, start thinking about little things that you can do and attach those habits to habits you're already doing. So if your new habit is, I want to start walking every morning, then a good idea is that as soon as you wake up, have your shoes and your walking gear there so that it's the first thing you see and it's that habit trigger. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And it's sort of removing friction points, having to go to the cupboard, having to pull these things out. Sometimes when I'm good, I'm doing that. I'm hanging my shirts out and being a good, morning person, I suppose. But let's talk about what lifestyle stresses are and how can individuals identify and I guess address them on their path to healthier habit. Let's talk stresses. What have you seen?
So stress is inherently part of our life. And as I said before, by not planning to have stress, you are planning to not succeed. And everybody's lifestyle stresses are fundamentally very different. When I work with people, I get them to do an activity called the Circle of Life or the Wheel of Life. Okay. Circle of Life, that sounds like the Lion King, doesn't it? But the Wheel of Life. And we break our life up into, say, 8 different parts. So we might look at like your financial life, your health, your career, and we sort of segment that. And I look at where people have surpluses and deficits. And so by sort of realizing where they have stress, but where they don't have stress, we're able to sort of pull from those areas of surplus and take them into parts of deficit. So just say you're making lots of money and you're really comfortable, but right now your health isn't where you'd like it to be. It's taking the time and energy that you may be spending in surplus, getting that financial security, and actually bringing some of that energy into your health and your well-being.
Loz, just to finish for me, how can we establish some rules and I guess maintain them when it comes to discipline for healthier habits? Again, just to summarise for me.
So I have a personal rule, which is nothing tastes as good as healthy feels. And that allows me to then make informed decisions about what it is that I want to eat, because feeling great means more than just putting something in my mouth and getting that dopamine hit. So it's really essential for people to start setting rules about themselves. An example I use is if you're at a party and you are a plant-based eater and somebody walks around with a plate full of delicious looking beef sliders, automatically you've got disciplines and rules around that to say no, no, thank you. But somebody that's struggling to maybe lose weight but doesn't have those rules and disciplines, they're going to start feeling a little bit torn, and they may not really know which decision to make and then feel guilty. So setting aside some time to work out the life that you want to live and setting rules and disciplines around that is a really important part of making changes and giving yourself time.
Loz, speaking of time, it's all I've got for you at the moment, but I want to thank you for bringing such great energy to the network and, of course, highlighting some important things for me to reflect on as I head to a Christmas party tonight and don't eat beef sliders.
Well done. Thank you so much for your time.
No worries at all.